Hey, 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 hey.
Hola, buen dia. Hello, good morning. I'm here today with Simon Maya. He's an artist from Austria, and he will be presenting his show SunBenSitting in Fira Mediterrània in Manresa. So, hello, Simon. How are you?
Hola, hello,
Hola,
hello.
hello. That's really crazy because in Vienna it's sunny and good weather, and right now I'm in Barcelona. It's raining and really kind of shitty. So just to introduce yourself to the audience and the people who's coming to Manresa, uh, who are you as an artist, and what's the kind of work you're doing with your company?
So, as you said already, my name is Simon Meyer. I'm a choreographer, performer, musician, and mainly mainly I've been busy with folk culture and folk dance, folk music in the last years, connected to rituals. So my main interest was to find out what is it that I feel when I do folk dance or when I do folk music? Because I did folk music and folk dance since I was a child, um, and there was always um, some other layer beneath that I felt was there, but I didn't really know where it was coming from. Some layer of interest or some yeah. So I started researching on that basically. And well, the thing is that the further I went away from home, because first I was in Vienna, I was in the opera ballet school, and then I went
Mm-hmm.
to Brussels, to Parts, to the school of Anne-Theresa de Kersmacher, and to Rosa's, to her company. And so the further I went away from home, the more it was interesting for me what to find in my local home, let's say. So in
Mm-hmm.
my when I say local home, well, the topic of home is a very important one for me. So I always try to define it well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In that way, the local home would mean Austria, where I was born. Um,
Which part of Austria is it? Exactly, which
in
part?
the northwest of Austria, close to the
Mm-hmm.
German border.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it started to be interesting for me what I find, like what kind of artistic forms I could find in my local home, and then I remembered again the time with the folk dance group,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm still part of, um, and yeah, and try to find out more about what folk art, folk culture is right now politically, socially, what it can do to help in terms of the whole questions on borders and boundaries, because
Mm-hmm.
folk art can
Mm-hmm.
be a national identity in a way. Um, and of course, in the course of history, it has been misused a lot, especially during the Second World War for Nazi
Mm-hmm.
propaganda and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And but at the same time, it can be really there to be a bridge between people, between nations, between cultures, and it is
Mm-hmm.
a bridge because
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Mm-hmm.
every folk dance is a big hybrid of different kinds
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
movements, dances, melodies of
And and
different
and
cultures.
I totally agree, and I think it's the first time you'll be performing in Manresa, no, in this festival, Fira Mediterrània. And if you can
Yeah.
spend there some days, you'll see that the whole festival it's really interesting because it's all this hybridation between the folk culture. It can be music, it could be dance, it could be theater, with contemporary arts. No, that's the thing you do. No, so we can talk specifically about SunBenSitting. I've seen, and we can see in the webpage of the festival the trailer, and we see it's like a one-man show. You're naked. There's folk music. There's yodeling. You're playing the violin. There's dance. There's a chainsaw. So if you can tell us a little bit about the show, because already the trailer it's so interesting. And the first question would be, when did it appear? When did you create the show? And I think it has also quite a a long life now. So what's the story of this show?
I won't tell you everything about the show because otherwise it won't be a surprise. But one thing I can say, it's not really a one-man show because I'm working together with the sound designer Pascal Holper, which he's really a very essential part of the show because we work a lot with music, and basically he is the one that makes the music on stage happen. So we work a lot with loop, with recording the music and looping the music and creating sound atmospheres. And basically the story of the show in a way has to do with what I said before concerning the question about home, the question about roots, the question on what folk culture can be nowadays for us, or is there maybe new forms of folk culture that we created already but we don't see? Like, would contemporary dance be the new folk dance, for example? Or is there something like a universal folk dance? Something, a folk dance that we all share, a folk dance where there, for example, the question of the costume comes in, because I mean, as you can see on the pictures already, I'm naked on stage, and the costume question was a very interesting one in the sense of like asking myself, so what would be a traditional costume that I could wear where I don't immediately belong to a region again, but that is more universal. And then it came to me that actually nudity would be the human traditional costume, at least up till now. Maybe somebody can give me a better answer to that.
It's international, the international costume, the folk.
It's the international costume, yeah.
And since you will be performing in Manresa, in Catalonia, what do you know, or do you know anything about the Catalan folk culture? Do you know maybe some music, some dance? What image do you have of folk, of Catalan folk?
I have a big love for for Catalan folk and for the folk culture. Actually, at one point in my life, I had to do the decision whether I go to Belgium, to Brussels, to parts, or whether I go to Barcelona. And my heart was really with Barcelona. But then my career orientedness brought me to Brussels in a way. So like I always wanted to learn flamenco. I did a little bit of flamenco in my ballet education, and I did I'm listening to a lot of music also from there. And in that way, that's again basically the similarities that I try to find. And I have to say, like a lot on Catalan folk culture was very inspiring for me to see like how close we are in our folk dance and folk music approaches. Of course, the individuality is great, like to have diversity and individuality, that's fantastic, but still there's always a common ground. And this I also feel with, like here in the Alpine region or in Austria, we are not the only ones slapping on our feet, or doing clappings and stuff like that. So that's what connects us. That's what we share. So that's what I give priority also, to put priority to what we share than to what divides us.
So, well, thank you very much. That was it. It's a short interview, but just to let you to get to know you a little bit. So, see you in Manresa, no? Wir sehen uns bald in Manresa, in Fira Mediterránea,
Yes.
and enjoy the sun in Vienna. And thank you very much. Vielen Dank.
Thank you. Gracias.
Gracias. Ciao.